Have you ever said yes when your heart was screaming no? What if I told you that one small choice to follow everyone else could cost you your whole life? Today, I want to tell you about Arjun. Not a famous man, not a hero, just someone like you, and the quiet mistake that almost stole his future. So, at 17, Arjun made a choice. He buried his sketchbook. He enrolled in engineering college. And he told himself, maybe passion is a luxury. Responsibility comes first. For 4 years, Arjun did what he was supposed to do. He studied circuits, not colors. He memorized formulas, not feelings. He smiled at graduation, but his eyes were empty. His first job was in a tech company in Bangalore. Good salary, fancy office. But every morning on the metro, he'd stare out the window, watching street artists paint murals on walls, and feel a quiet ache in his chest. He tried to ignore it. He bought a new phone, a better apartment, even a car. But no matter how much he earned, he felt like a stranger in his own life. Arjun grew up in a small town where everyone knew what success looked like. Become a doctor or an engineer, wear a suit, earn respect. His parents worked hard. His father drove a rickshaw, his mother stitched clothes late into the night. They dreamed of a better life for him. So when Arjun told them in high school that he loved painting, that he wanted to study art, maybe even become an illustrator, his father didn't yell. He just looked disappointed. Art? He said softly. How will you eat, Beta? The truth is, Arjun wasn't even sure. But deep inside, colors spoke to him. A blank canvas felt like home. Still, he saw his friends signing up for engineering entrance exams. He saw cousins getting job offers from big cities. He saw the pride in his parents' eyes when he scored well in math, not when he won the school art contest. Then came the breaking point. One evening, his boss asked him to work late again. Arjun nodded, like always. But as he sat at his desk, typing lines of code he didn't care about, he glanced at his phone. There was a photo from his old art teacher. It showed a mural Arjun had painted in school, still on the wall after 10 years. Under it, the teacher had written, "This was the day I knew you'd change the world with your hands." And just like that, Arjun broke down, right there in the middle of the office. Not loud, not traumatic, just silent tears rolling down his face because he realized he hadn't just given up art, he'd given up himself. Still, he saw his friends signing up for engineering entrance exams. He saw cousins getting job offers from big cities. He saw the pride in his parents' eyes when he scored well in math, not when he won the school art contest. That night, he didn't go home. He walked for hours through the city, past cafes, past bookstores, past a tiny art supply shop with warm yellow lights. He stood outside it for 10 minutes, heart pounding. The next morning, he didn't go to work. Instead, he bought a sketchbook, a set of pencils, and he sat in a park and drew for the first time in 8 years. His hands shook. His lines were messy. But for the first time in years, he felt alive. He didn't quit his job the next day. He couldn't. Bills don't wait for dreams. But he started waking up an hour earlier, just to draw. He painted on weekends, joined online art classes at night. He failed a lot, but each failure felt honest, because it was his. 2 years later, Arjun still works in tech, but only part-time. The rest of his time? He illustrates children's books. His work is gentle, full of color and quiet courage. Last month, one of his books was featured in a national magazine, and when his father held that book in his hands, he didn't say, "I'm proud." He just hugged Arjun and whispered, "I didn't understand before, but I see you now." Maybe you're not an artist. Maybe your dream isn't paint or music or writing. Maybe it's starting a small bakery, teaching kids in your village, or simply living a life that feels true to you, not to your parents, your friends, or society. Here's the hard truth. The crowd isn't evil, but the crowd doesn't know your soul. It doesn't feel your quiet longing at 2 a.m. It doesn't carry your regrets when you're 60, wondering, what if? Following the crowd feels safe, but safety without meaning is just a slower kind of pain. You don't have to burn your life down to follow your dream. Start small. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. Take that online course. Say no to one thing that drains you so you can say yes to what fills you. Because here's what Arjun learned and what I hope you remember. You weren't born to fit in. You were born to stand out in your own quiet, beautiful way. Don't wait until it's too late to ask, whose life am I really living? If this story touched you, take one small step today toward your truth. Not for fame, not for money, but so years from now, you won't look back and whisper, I followed the crowd and lost myself. You deserve more than that. You deserve a life that feels like yours. Thank you for listening. And remember, dare to be different. Your soul is counting on you.